Hello everyone, welcome to your channel. Today's story is about God's purpose and plan for you. The meaning of the phrase. The phrase God has a plan for you expresses the belief that human life is not random or meaningless, but guided by a higher power. It reflects the idea that every event, challenge, success, or failure has a purpose within God's larger design. In many religions, especially Christianity and Islam, this teaching reassures believers that even when life feels confusing or painful, God is working for their ultimate good. Biblical foundations. In Christianity, several verses emphasize that God has a plan. Jeremiah 29 verse 11, NIV, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Romans 8 verse 28, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Proverbs 19 verse 21, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." These passages remind believers that even when human plans fail, God's plan is perfect and cannot be stopped. Islamic perspective. In Islam, the concept of Qadr, divine decree, teaches that Allah has written the destiny of every human being. The Quran says, Surah Al-Hadid 57:22, "No calamity befalls on the earth or in yourselves but is inscribed in the book before we bring it into existence." Indeed, that is easy for Allah. Surah Al-Anfal 8:30, "They plan, and Allah plans." But Allah is the best of planners. This means that while humans have free will to make choices, God's ultimate plan is always greater and wiser. Philosophical and spiritual implications. Purpose in life. Believing that God has a plan gives life meaning. People feel their existence has significance beyond survival. Hope and suffering. Trials are not accidents but opportunities for growth, learning, and spiritual maturity. Patience and trust. Instead of despairing in hard times, believers practice patience, sabr, and trust, tawakkul in Islam, or faith in Christianity. Moral guidance. Knowing that God has a plan encourages people to live righteously, follow moral laws, and serve others. Common misunderstandings. Not fatalism. God's plan doesn't mean humans are robots without choice. Both Islam and Christianity teach that humans have free will, but God knows and oversees the bigger picture. Not always easy. God's plan may involve suffering, but the suffering itself can lead to wisdom, empathy, and a deeper relationship with God. Timing may differ. What humans want immediately may not align with God's timing. Waiting and trusting are part of spiritual maturity. How to live in light of God's plan. Pray for guidance. Ask God to direct your path and give you clarity. Trust in uncertainty. Believe that even setbacks can serve a greater purpose. Be active, not passive. Work hard, make wise decisions, but leave the results to God. Reflect on challenges. See difficulties as part of personal and spiritual growth. Serve others. Often, God's plan for you involves blessing and helping other people. Inspirational examples. Yusuf in Islam, sold into slavery, imprisoned unjustly, yet later rose to power in Egypt. What seemed like tragedy was part of God's plan to save many lives. Ayyub endured intense suffering but remained faithful. In the end, his patience was rewarded. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced persecution in Mecca, but God's plan led to the establishment of Islam in Medina. Conclusion. The belief that God has a plan for you is a source of comfort, hope, and direction. It teaches us that life is not meaningless. Pain has purpose. Success is not just luck. We are part of something bigger than ourselves. Whether in Christianity, Islam, or general spirituality, the idea reassures us that nothing is wasted and every moment contributes to a divine story designed with love, wisdom, and purpose.